Okay, so in the previous video we have seen the upper part of the upper limb, that means scapula and arm. Now we focus on the lower part of the upper limb, that is cubital fossa and the forearm, for the revision purposes. So we see here a very wonderful cubital fossa. This is pronator teres. You can notice it. It is coming from here and going here. This is brachioradialis, extending from this lateral side of the forearm till this wrist, and in between this is the cubital fossa. If we focus on the cubital fossa, we can see here the median cubital vein as well. It's a wonderful specimen from medial side. Then we have median nerve, then we have brachial artery, then tendon of biceps, and then here we have this radial nerve. Can you see this? Okay, again I am repeating. This is median nerve, right? And between these two nerves, this is median, this is radial, we have brachial artery and the tendon of biceps brachial. Okay, here, right? Now we see one by one these structures. First we trace this median nerve, and if we see, go deep, we see this nerve is piercing this pronator teres. It is its identification mark. Okay, here, and this is the hallmark feature. The nerve which is piercing the pronator teres is median nerve. Okay, now, so in the upper limb we have superficial and the deep muscles of the forearm. Then pronator teres was the first one. Then we have flexor carpi radialis. This is this one. Then palmaris longus. You can appreciate this, a small long tendon. Then we have flexor digitorum superficialis, the bigger one. And in the last, flexor carpi ulnaris. Again I am repeating: pronator teres, flexor carpi radialis, palmaris longus, flexor digitorum superficialis, and on the medial side this flexor carpi ulnaris. For your simplicity, I am putting this probe, this forceps behaving as a probe for the identification. All right, now this one holding pronator teres, all right, this one holding flexor carpi radialis. Palmaris longus, small long tendon, easily distinguishable from the other muscle. A big bellied tendon going into the here palm. Flexor digitorum superficialis, and this one is holding flexor carpi ulnaris. So these are the 5 muscles of the forearm. Simultaneously we have identified the median nerve piercing the pronator teres. Okay, if we trace the brachial artery, here we can have this radial artery, all right, this one, and this whole structure below this radial artery is named as radial bed. So if you remember my revision video, in that I have given the whole sequence from up to down of the radial bed. You should know these things. Now there are the 3 muscles left into the deeper compartment of the flexor, and here we see this one. Can you see this 4-digit superficialis has also intermingled with this 4 digits coming from the downside, and this is nothing but flexor digitorum profundus. So this one is flexor digitorum profundus. We know that profundus means deep, so this tendon is deeper and this one is superficialis. So flexor digitorum superficialis and flexor digitorum profundus. This is thumb, and in the thumb upper limb is known as pollicis. So here we will meet flexor pollicis longus tendon, and here is this tendon. Okay, this is the muscle flexor pollicis longus. We separate and then we reach up to the deepest part, and you can appreciate a brown structure quadrangular muscle present over here in this region, and that is pronatus quadratus. So pronator quadratus, flexor ditorum profundus and flexor pollicis longus, these are the deep muscles of the flexor compartment of forearm. Here you can also appreciate that interosseous membrane is present and antereinterosseous artery and nerve is running over here. Almost all over here we can see this big nerve, that is median nerve, that is running. If you see here, from cubital fossa piercing the pronator teres, it is coming downside, supplying all these flexor compartment muscles except flexor carpi ulnaris and the medial half of flexor ditorum profundus, which is supplied by ulnar nerve. Since these all muscles are flexor and help in making a fist, which is useful for a laborer, that's why median nerve is named as laborer's nerve. So that is about the flexor compartment. Now we turn and read to the extensor compartment. Extensor compartment is a little bit odd because we do not see here anconeus in the superficial, but we have this brachioradialis. So anconeus here, brachioradialis, extensor carpi radialis longus, followed by extensor carpi radialis brevis. Then in the middle, almost in the middle, running these four tendons into the dorsum of hand, you can see these are moving when I am pulling this. That is extensor digitorum. Then we have extensor digiti minimi, and in the last extensor carpi ulnaris. Again repeating, anconeus is here, not shown. Then brachioradialis. Then extensor carpi radialis longus with the long tendon, extensor carpi radialis brevis with the short tendon, extensor digitorum, extensor digiti minimi, a thin tendon and thin bulk muscle, and extensor carpi ulnaris. So these are the superficial muscle. If you wish, that much is sufficient for this, but to know the deeper muscles, we can reach up to this snuff box, right? And here we have extensor pollicis longus tendon on this outer side, right? While on this side we have abductor pollicis, which is not so well dissected here. So I remove the fascia over here, and that makes the tendon more visible. Okay, give me a minute and dissect it. Yes. Now on outer side we see a big tendon and single tendon, that is extensor pollicis longus. How you identify? Because this tendon will pull up in the extension format. That's how you can remember it. It is extensor pollicis. While on this closer to the palmar side we have two tendons, one smaller, another big, and this bigger one is abductor pollicis longus and the smaller one is extensor pollicis brevis. So extensor pollicis are two ones, longus and brevis. Longus is this one, while brevis changes its position and go away from this longus and join with the abductor pollicis, right? Next comes the extensor indicis, which is here, supinator, which we cannot see because it's quite deep, forming the floor of the cubital fossa, and these are the muscles which are present here in the deep of the forearm and extensor compartment. So in summary, extensor pollicis longus, abductor pollicis longus, extensor pollicis brevis, fourth is extensor indicis, and fifth one is here, that is supinator, right? What should be the nerve supply? We see that in the upper limb the dorsal side is supplied by radial nerve, tricep is supplied by radial nerve. Similarly here, and from cubital fossa we can see this radial nerve is running, and if you go further here, you can see all the branches. Coming to the last part of the story, that is the hand, and just below this pollicis or thumb at the metacarpal, first metacarpal, we see a bulk, that is thenar group of muscles, right? Opposite to this, along with the bulk is present below this metacarpals of the fifth one is named as, this one is thenar, so this one is hypothenars. Then we have lumbricals. Lumbricals is always associated with the deep one, profundus. So with the profundus tendons they are attached, and palmas and dorsal interossei are present between these metacarpals. So these are the muscles. So we have here thenar group, hypothenar, lumbricals, then dorsal interossei and palmar interossei, 5 group of muscle, each containing 4, and then we have 20 muscles this way into the hand, right? By this way, if you trace the radial artery, similarly there is the ulnar artery, we can notice over here the palmar arches as well, but that is not visible on the camera because for that dissection we need to do 2 zooming, and it's something coloring, and you see only a single color in this camera, so I am not showing this. So that is about a quick revision of the upper limb gross anatomy. Thank you.